All right, so this is the start to video 2 for week 1. We'll be looking at, in no particular order, a discussion of the website, going through the YouTube channel that we have available, um, logging in to the website for the initial login, talk a little bit about the critique form, as well as the introduction project that we'll be working on next week. So I think I'll go ahead and start off with the YouTube channel just to give you a good idea of what that looks like. If I click out on that live link that is listed in the D2L news section, see this originally pops up as stoutphoto.video. The home gives you some of, I think these are the most recent videos that were put together. Just go into the video section. This gives us a collection of all of them, from the newest to the oldest if we scroll down. If you have some time, I recommend watching some of these. Again, they go in order. You got a course intro, camera setup. Please view this before you go to do the initial introduction project. And then helpful stuff out here like the exposure videos that we have, a little bit of information when it comes to Camera Raw, when it comes to Photoshop. The Widen Collective, of course, we have an online video specifically on how to log into that as well. So this gives you a little preview of that. Become a subscriber for the duration of the semester. I think it will be helpful as well. But that's stoutphoto.video. That's out here. So it gives you a little preview of where we're at. Again, a lot of these are projects specific to what we're doing in class, and therefore very, very helpful. Filled with a lot of student examples from prior semesters. So I'm going to go ahead and click back a couple times, get us back to this home page. And I'm going to be going into that website I've been referencing so much the last video, the Widen Collective website. That is a collaborative website that houses our student projects. So if I click on there, it gives me the first initial login, where you'd log in with your Stout email address and password. So the first password that you're going to have is photo with a capital P 130. No space in between that. Again, capital P with photo 130. And once you type that in, you'll be going into sign in. Do not go create account. It will be sign in. So UW Stout email address with the full at my.uwstout.edu, password of photo 130, capital P. You'll click sign in. What's going to happen when you do that? It is going to prompt you to change your password, because it'll be the first time that you're signing into there. Make it a password that you're familiar with, and put in the prove you're a human text that are on here, and go ahead and change that password. So make that something that you can remember. Okay, so I'm on the website. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. I don't have to change my password because I've signed in a bunch of times. And I am going to get to the area. So when you first initially sign in, and this is what it's going to look like to you. You can see over on the right, there's some recent activity. These are some of my former students, and some of the work looks like they were downloading them about a week and a half ago, where their projects are at. So we'll get further into this as the semester. This will be where you'll be placing your projects. If I went ahead and typed in, let's for example, let's take a look at like the first project they'd be handing in. It's a shutter speed project, and if I go into the images section, we see there's 1,044 submitted for taking a look at some of these. So we'll go through and take a look into this area. You see that some of these are named incorrectly. We'll get into the nomenclature that's required so it becomes easily searchable. This is just labeled incorrectly. It doesn't have a student name attached to it, but it kind of gives you an idea of how this is set up. Each one does have student names along for these. So I go ahead and type in. We see that this person has uploaded correctly their file in the original file. So if you're shooting with a Nikon, you'll get familiar that your raw images are NEF files. And then once you go through and do the editing process in Photoshop, you save them as Photoshop files. Okay. So we'll get a little more familiar with this website as we go on throughout the semester. But this is the Widen Collective website. For UW Stout. We'll be uploading both your photos and your video projects for this class. All right, and also listed on the topics to be covered for this second day. is the critique form discussion. So this is an example of what was used last semester for the in-class sections and their critique. Again, these are specific to individual projects. Some of the objectives will change depending on which project you happen to be working on. You see up here it has a question whether or not the raw file was uploaded, the Photoshop file, and whether or not it was shot on manual. These 3 check boxes are pertinent to having a completed project that is worth credit. And then we go into this other area. We have understanding content, effectiveness, inventiveness, and technique when it comes to craftsmanship. I'll likely put out a copy of this, and I'll be working to put together a digital version of this that we can fill out instead of a Word document for the online course. For the first introduction project, which will have 2 weeks to complete, leaving room for everyone to get the appropriate resources when it comes to software and equipment, you'll be uploading a self-portrait shot on manual in RAW format, and that'll be uploaded to the Widen Collective website. If I hop back out to here and I go back out to the YouTube channel that we have, there's actually a video specific to the proper upload process onto the Widen Collective website. So that's located right out here. Although it was created, I'm just going to press pause, it was created last year. The same exact steps can be followed when it comes to the section that you're in. Again, you guys are online, so you're section 930C when you have out there. So again, the introduction project, just a quick self-portrait, not being graded with the information off the critique form, just a process to prove that we can go through shooting on manual, shooting in RAW format, and then uploading in the correct process. There is some highlights. I think that you should also take a look at the camera setup video that is on YouTube, talking about image quality. That's where you choose that it's RAW. If you're a Canon user, it's going to be a CR2 file. If you're a Nikon user, it's going to be an NEF file. That video also asks you to choose the color space of Adobe RGB to get the fuller range of colors, and then shooting on full manual mode. Once you've taken a look at the resources available when it comes to the syllabus, the calendar, all-inclusive of the course details and expectations, please make sure you take a look at the YouTube channel for those introductory videos that we have, because they're still relevant to this online section. Get logged into the Widen Collective. Again, you should have received an email. That's where you just update your password and I'll prompt you to change it. What I'd like to spend the rest of the week doing is having everyone go through their software and their equipment and ensuring that it is that it meets the requirements for the course. Again, this is making sure that you have a DSLR camera on hand or available to you that has available for full manual controls for both photo and video, as well as making sure you have access to using the software for Adobe Photoshop as well as Adobe Premiere. If you do not currently have access to Photoshop or Premiere, there is a steep student discount available through Adobe, and I will make sure that I include that link down below on the news section of the website. If you have a Stout issued laptop, your laptop should come loaded with those programs. With that said, I'd like to officially welcome you to the spring 2018 semester of Photo 130 online, and I look forward to meeting you.